Yeah, let's. I hope to see you in 10, 15 minutes after the session that's going to be done right now. Inspiration session by Brooke. So, Brooke, where
Yes,
are you?
I am here.
All right, there you are. We will make you a co-host. Well, you are a co-host already. Perfect. Well, great to see you. Take it away.
Awesome. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm seeing some thumbs up. That's awesome. All right. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Brooke Winston, and today I'm going to be talking with you about creating portfolio quality pieces using fine art techniques that will earn your learning deliverables a spot in the nearest gallery. So by day, I'm a senior learning specialist at a tech company like many of you, but by night, I'm actually an artist. This is one of my recent pieces. It's called Frida, and as you can probably guess, it's based on Frida Kahlo. Now, at first glance, it's just a portrait painting, but it's got a lot of different layers of complexity and information in it, like the mosaic tile edging, the gold foil background, and a lot more. So, for example, for those of you who are familiar with Frida Kahlo as an artist and who she was as a person, you'll know that she typically painted self-portraits. And not only that, but she usually painted herself facing the camera with a serious or calm expression. So that's how I've tried to portray her here. Not only that, but Frida was also known for her love of wild nature and florals. So the mosaic edging surrounding her portrait is one of florals and natural color schemes. So all of those little bits of information are making up the meaning behind the piece. I'm going to zoom into one more thing, which is actually the background. If you can see, there's a layer of text behind the painting. Now, this is a quote by Frida that says, "I am my own muse. I am the subject I know best, the subject I want to better." Thus, she is the only subject of this piece. And all of the other decisions I made, all of the other artistic elements are solely existing to support her as the only subject of this piece. Now, I have a few fine art techniques that I plan on talking about in this inspirational session, but first I want to hear from you in the chat. What kinds of fine art techniques do you think I incorporated in this Frida piece? Go ahead and write in what you think you see. Mosaics, metal relief, collage, absolutely. Those are all great answers. Yeah, mosaics again, oil or pastel, that's a great question. It's actually acrylic. So there's a lot of different fine art techniques that were incorporated into this one single piece. But the three that I'm actually going to be talking about today and diving deep on today are composition, mixed media, and making meaningful decisions. Those three fine art techniques specifically were prevalent in the Frida piece, and they're translatable into learning design. So what we're actually going to do is take a look at a tab interaction. It's one of my own personal portfolio pieces that I created. Very quick, only a minute and a half, and is actually only one slide in Storyline. So first we're going to look at that, and then we're going to come back here and break down how those fine art techniques played a role.
In this tab interaction, you'll learn which tools were used to play a part in the overall learning experience. Synthesia is a great software that allows users to create videos and interactions from a variety of AI avatar presenters and design options. Easily customize learning, explainer videos, communications, and more. Assets from Vyond can be saved and used for internal training. Check out the link for more specific legal information and the Resources tab for a step-by-step guide to saving assets. While Storyline 360 was used for this example, any e-learning authoring tool should be able to support the combination of multiple medias. It's the base. Other tools and add-ons should be intertwined for the best experience. This tab/click to reveal type interaction has room to grow, especially if you choose to minimize the size of each click target. It's flexible, personal, customized, visually communicative, and designed with UX principles in mind.
All right. So now that we see what this looks like in practice in learning deliverables, let's break down exactly how it was done. Starting with composition. So did you notice that the page was set up with the left 2/3 of the screen being used for the interaction and the right 1/3 being used with a presenter and an interface? That actually follows a very common thing called the rule of thirds. It's something that photographers, filmographers, graphic designers alike all follow. And it allows the interaction itself to be the main content. Learners can read and engage with this first, and the presenter is always supportive or supplementary. I also chose to align my content to a left justified guide because I design for English speaking learners and they read from left to right. However, this can be adapted for international design. So if you design for learners who read from right to left, you can simply move that presenter panel over or adjust your guide to be on the right-hand side so all of your elements align that way. When a tab is selected and the additional information displays below it, it follows information architecture with nested details. So naturally, it already makes sense to the learner. And additionally, the composition follows Mayer's multimedia principles because it's displaying the relevant imagery with its on-screen text, with its verbal description. So we can check mark that for our adult learning theory application. Lastly, that right side panel allows the continue button or potentially any other interface elements to exist on screen without getting in the way or overlapping any of the important information that we're really trying to get learners to focus on. So you're able to get everything on one page and be able to determine what is the primary thing that I'm supposed to be focusing on and the secondary thing I'm supposed to be focusing on. Now let's look at the mixed media aspect. For this interaction, I utilized Articulate Storyline 360, Vyond, and Synthesia. As many of you probably already know, Storyline is the e-learning authoring software that built the interaction, and Vyond is an animated video software. Synthesia is a tool that's actually a little less known, but it's really cool because it allows users to create professional presenter videos and audio with AI avatars. As you can tell, that's not me. That's not my voice, but that's just how good these avatars are. They sound real. Now, some of you may be wondering where Vyond came into the picture here because there aren't any animated videos. And actually, the parts that were Vyond were the flat colored illustrations that make up the tabs at the top. Now, these can be downloaded and used for private or internal training purposes. You just can't sell it for any profit externally. I got it in writing from Vyond. I checked. So you can use it for internal training purposes. So it's a really great way to have a huge library of consistently illustrated assets that you can customize to your brand's colors and use in whatever way you need to use them. It's a great example of sometimes the tool's best feature is not actually its intended purpose, and that's okay. Use the tools at your disposal, figure out what their best features are, and combine them to create something brand new, something that hasn't been done before. That's art. The last technique I'll talk about for this interaction is making meaningful decisions. So you might have noticed that the tab visuals at the top turn black and white when it's in a visited state. However, for learners who are colorblind, this isn't enough of a visual distinction for them. So I've also included checkmark icons to showcase when a tab is currently selected. Accessibility wound up playing a huge role in a lot of the decisions I was making, such as the color contrast, the closed captioning, the alt text, tab order, all that good stuff. I've also allowed for all imagery to be expanded. I want my learners to be able to zoom into the pictures, click the links, download the resources, and really engage with this learning experience in all of its layers of complexity. Because remember, this is just one slide. I also chose to design the presenter on a black background on purpose because black is traditionally a color that gets ignored, both in real life, you ignore the shadows around you, and on interfaces. So in this way, it allows the presenter to be off to the side and supplementary, but the circle that encloses the presenter has a chance to pop. Lastly, I highlight any important callouts that I want the learner to pay extra special attention to. And I chose to animate an illustration coming into and going out of the slide at exactly the moments where my speaker is describing that callout. So it just gives the learner another little kick in the brain that says, this is something I should be paying attention to right now. Now, this is just one example of how these techniques can be applied. Another example is to create a custom-looking Rise course by combining the strengths of Articulate Rise, Adobe Illustrator, and Lottie files. Articulate Rise, as many of you know, is great at drag and drop building web-based courses, but it doesn't offer a ton of customization options. That's where Illustrator comes in, because you can create custom image blocks, download them, and put them into your Rise course. Now, I do want to give credit to Amanda Wynn. She is the original ideator behind combining those two tools for a custom looking Rise course. And I've also linked her video on ATD in my presentation. So I'm actually sharing that with you right now through the chat. You should be able to open the slides and access her video. Now, I personally also recommend combining this with Lottie files. This is also a tool that's a little less well known, but it's a community-based library of animated graphics that can be edited to match your brand's colors and downloaded in whatever file format you need to use. So by combining these tools and their strengths, you're able to actually apply the techniques of composition, mixed media, and making meaningful decisions to create a new learning experience that didn't otherwise exist. Again, that is art. Whew, I tried to get through this in my 10-15 minutes that I had. I think I just barely made it, but thank you so much for coming to this inspiration session. And if you do have any questions, I am able to answer them now. If not, feel free to download the slides, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and have a wonderful rest of your conference.
Thank you so much, Brooke, for that enthusiastic presentation. I think there's a lot of inspiration in terms of tools and tips, and all in line with the art of learning experience design theme to find inspiration in art. So thank you so much, and I hope you stick around for the meetup as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wonderful. So yeah, we're going to go into a meetup right now because we think it's really important to bring all of you together. And one of the reasons we do that is because we know that there are a lot of individual learning experience designers. You know, it's still relatively new for most people who are either in their company, organization, or school, you know, maybe the sole learning experience designer or just a small team. And it's nice to meet other like-minded people and other learning experience designers. Now, of course, we're not going to do this in a completely standard way. We're going to play a bit of a game with it.